Hello, so welcome back to my channel, and today we're gonna see what the market has for us following the FOMC release. And yeah, we got something from the FOMC release, and let's see what the market has for us this week and maybe next week. So starting with the DXY, the DXY has been in a bullish momentum for a while, but you can see that this part over here, which is our resistance. And following this, you can see this is act as a double top from this point to this point, and making this act as our sweep of liquidity at this point. Yeah, I think we're still gonna be bearish for now, and maybe even sweep this point, or even this point over here. So that's my take on this. So one, because of this 200 moving average at that point. So that's my take. And following the FOMC, which the dollar was weak, this could go to this point, yeah, or even this point. So this is our first take profit, and this is our second take profit before we either continue or we could break. But I think we're gonna continue. But let's just focus on what will happen maybe next for this week. And this, just have to wait for it to either rise up before we continue taking a sell for our confirmation. Yeah, at this point, if we continue taking a sell, so that's my take on the EXY. So for now, we're still bearish. Going on the USDCHF, also bearish on the USDCHF. Following also the FOMC, which took part, and yeah, you can see this was the one. This is the part which was broken out, really created that high is this low, and you can see this also this low, but let's not focus on this. Let's not focus on that. And see, it broke this part and broke this part, so this acted as our liquidity over here. And yeah, I think the market is still bearish on this, but if you still want to continue selling, yeah, you can see we are still bearish on the RSI. And as you can see, okay, let's do this first. It touched the 70% overbought position, so this confirms that one, we are going to be bearish. And looking at our 4 hour, we're still bearish at this point, so we just have to touch the 30 before it's oversold. But now we're still bearish, and if you want to enter a trade from now, okay, let's just do it retest to this point, or you can use the Fibonacci, but I don't see any trades for this week following the results that came out. I don't really see, and this is what we were expecting, but yeah, let's just wait and see what will happen. But for me, I'm still bearish, so yeah, one could target this, not moving this now, yeah, I'm moving average at this point, which is a good point to target, or even target, yeah, as our second take profit. So this could be a second take profit. Yeah, we don't want to target this point, so yeah, let's just focus on this, because this was the one that created this, and this created this. So This is our main target. So yeah, let's take on the USD following the USD GPY. I'm on a bearish moment. I'm on a bearish setup right now, and this is followed by this is I wanted to drop to the 30%, which it will be oversold, but we, we took a sell because of this one. You can see that it was overbought at this point, and it really happened here. There was resistance at this point, and you can see there was really resistance. I took a late trade, but let's see what will happen to that trade. And this is a ratio of 2 to 2.4, and see what will happen next. Yeah, we can be swept up, but I think we're going to be safe. And this could also come to this point, which our order block is here before we continue them down. So if you want to be safe again, you can put stop loss right there, but maybe extend our take profit to a ratio of 2, because you don't want to lose that much amount. Yeah, so a ratio of 2 to 2.4. And following our daily, you can see that here, even our daily is still not overbought, so it's our time to take the sales. And the bearish on the USD GPY, following the GBP USD. I don't really see any trade forming right now at this point on the GBP, sorry, not GBP. But what I can see is first the FOMC, which was good, not good, it was bad for the dollar, led to this push up to this point. And I want to take a trade at this point because of this. Let me show this point. This is the moving average, and this is the 200 moving average, and one, it could either go there, then continue pushing down, or it could go break and continue with the momentum. So for me, I just have to wait and wait for a character change, maybe at this point. And we cannot buy at this point for now because we're already in a bullish momentum. We can't buy at this point. It will be swept out. And let's just wait what will and see what will happen at this point. And even this could act as our resistance, or to be safe, we want to take sales when the price goes above the 50% Fibonacci. So either wait to touch the 50, wait for change of character before we continue selling this maybe to this point, but we'll just wait and see what will happen. So I'm not really taking a trade on the GBP USD. I'll just let it play out. But yeah, we took some trades today on the GBP from this point to that point, and this was our stop loss to the ratio of 2, and this is where let me show you downloads, and that no, not really, no, that's so to talk, but yeah, this point, yeah, this was our trade today, and we took it. Yeah, this was the FOMC, but it was a good trade. But let's continue. That's the past, and let's focus on the present. So I'm still waiting for it to go there. Following the AUD and ZD, for now I'm still bearish to this point. To this point over here. I wanted to test this point, but not for now, because one, you can see that it's been oversold at this point, so wait for it to push up, and this will go to even this point over here, this other block on the supply zone, and going there, we can take ourselves to that point, and we can also use the Fibonacci by waiting waiting for it to go above the 50% before we continue with the sales. So yeah, that's my take on the AUD and the D, and let's see, yeah, my take on that. Yeah, and you can wait for it to rise actually here, but maybe so to rise to this point, this mark before we continue selling. Yeah, so that's my take on this. So we are not bearish momentum for now. Yeah. Anything else? AUD, USD, ADSD was in a bearish momentum, but the way it's going, let's just see what is happening at this point. And so we have this, which was broken, and what really broke that point is this point. Yeah, so that's the point which is broken, and following you can see that we are waiting for it to go to the overbought before we continue selling, and that's not yet happened. So just have to wait to go, and if it breaks this point, this tree, this point, it's a confirmation that continuing with the bullish momentum. But for now, we're still in a bearish momentum. So if it forms a change of character over here, you can take a sell to that point. Yeah, that point targeting a low. But if it continues going up, change of character, and not change of character, it continues going and breaks this point, wait for a retest to this point before we continue with the buys into that point. Yeah. So that's my take on that. AUD. So for me, I don't really see any trade today, but I'm just showing you what I'm expecting. Following the Euro USD, I'm expecting it to go maybe break this point. Yeah, break that point, because we're still in a bullish momentum, a very bullish momentum. And following I was to take this, but I don't know. I just chose the GBP above this. That's great. So you can see this was our inducement, and this is our sweep of liquidity over here. To take those who enter trade maybe at this point over here, and take them who you place their stop loss over here. Not really there, and we ensure the lot time frame that point. Maybe just there below this point, and as you can see, it was also of liquidity and taking out the buyers before we continue with the bullish momentum. But for now, I'm still bullish. To see what we will do after this point. So this could be the break, and you can take a small sell to this point, and we even continue going up. Continue with bullish to this moving average over here. And all I say is you just have to target the moving average. So this could be our target over this point. Target that point before maybe continuing the bearish. But yeah, that's my take on it. But you just have to wait for a break, a retest to the 50%, before continue with the movement. So that's my take on the euro. Going on the NZD USD, me, I'm not really seeing anything to trade for now, but this point is our highest point which was made. It really made it high. It's, I think, yeah, this low, and it's still ranging over here. And one, you can trade and take this from this point to this, following the news, but I think it's less volatile. The NZD is less volatile for now, so should not be. It could take a long time before reaching there. So maybe go there, and if it breaks this point, and it's hard for it to break that point, you continue selling to that point. And when I'm saying it's hard to break because of this support, in which it was tested 3 times. Yeah. It was tested 3 times before it continued going up. So I think I'm still bullish at this. You take it there, and yeah, you can take your entry from now. You can see it is at 50%. You can take your long from that point. Stop loss below this point and take profit. A ratio of 2 to 4. That's a good trade to take. To get this high for it to sleep that high. Or continue. No, not really continue the bearish, but we'll see what will happen at the end of that. But yeah, you can see you still bullish. Oh, so yeah, my sentiment is still bullish at that point. The XAUUSD for now. On the USD card, I'm still bearish, waiting for it to take out this low, and even it will even go to this point. Our moving average, which is the 200 moving average, it will go and sweep this point, following that it really broke this two. So these two are acting now as resistance. So if it touches this point, maybe a resistance to this point, you can still look for bullish, not bullish, bearish momentum to that point. Yeah, so that's my take on that. Even you can see use the Fibonacci to see its target, and that's our high and that's our low. Yeah, you can see that it really matches with our take profit at this point. So I'm still bearish on that. Anything else? I'm not really looking at this, but I want to start trading the stocks. But for now, let's just leave and nothing important at this point. Go to the XAUUSD or the gold. As you can see, gold, it was bullish. Bullish for some time. Not really bullish, but the news, I'm talking about the news, it was bullish. But seeing for all time, we have been consolidating for a long time from this point to this point. It has been consolidating from 30th June, almost even a month, I think so. Yeah, almost a month of consolidation. And if it breaks, I think it would even go to that point. I think so. But just have to wait for it to break one, either this or this high, or break over the box. That's when you can confirm in a bullish momentum. But for now, we're still consolidating, so I don't have any remarks on that. But yeah, let's just see what will happen maybe next week or this week. Yeah. And see, it also aligns with this resistance at this point, and you can take it there before we even continue being bearish. But no, gold is very volatile, and maybe the war could happen, and it could push gold a little bit higher because I think there's still some fighting going on, not really fighting but war going on, and I heard of tariffs, and this could push gold to continue going high. And let's see, the last time being all-time high was in a long time. It was there. I'm thinking it's, yeah, let's see, yeah, let me show you this. That you can see that it's still bullish, very, very, very bullish. And this could push from this point to even break that point. Maybe it could even go for another higher high. But it will take a long time, but that's my opinion. Everybody has his own opinion, but I think it will even go to that point. But just target the low things or achievable things, not really going to that point. So that's my take on that. Anything else? Let's see. Not really Bitcoin. What's happening at Bitcoin? Bitcoin, I'm still following. This is our change of path. Maybe a break of this high before we confirm that we are still bullish. But for now, I don't want to suggest anything. But maybe break of that, and that. So like that, or even come break this point or below this point and could continue the bearish momentum. But as you can see, it could be bullish. So for now, I'm thinking about selling all the USD, but buying the AU, the EU, the GBP, the NZD. Yeah, that's my take on that. Anything else? Nothing. So yeah, stay safe in the markets. This what you can manage, and we'll meet in the next video. So apply risk management and don't overtrade. Thank you, and have a great week, and a great trading day. Thank you.